Hello and welcome to a new vlog. I have a talking stick now. Just wanted to improve my experience and your experience, so I hope it sounds lovely. um, I wanted to express some thoughts that I've had for a long time and figured with my trial and error, maybe you can benefit from these ways in which you can have a better social media experience. I've always been a person who wanted to put things on the internet, whether it's photos or videos or writing, and then when social media platforms became what they are, obviously they were different back in 2011, but when social media platforms were created, went on them to promote my blog and things like that. Also to connect with other vegan people. That has been a big benefit to a social media experience. But I've learned over the years, social media has become more toxic. There's definitely a lot of pros and cons with social media. And one of the big cons right now for me in social media is just corporations or toxic people owning these platforms. And so, my first piece of advice would be to um, only participate on the platforms where you feel like you're being seen or you feel are less toxic. So for me, I have been um, doing a social media clean out. I've been deleting accounts. Removing, I've been archiving posts. I've been cleaning up my feed. But yeah, going back to deleting platforms. Today, I deleted my X account. I haven't posted on that account for the past 2 years, and even before that, I was just posting quotes every once in a while. And I just don't want to be participating on that. I mean, I wasn't participating on that platform, but them having my profile as a way to count towards the numbers, I'm like, no, 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 no. So deleted my X profile a couple months ago or so. I deleted my Threads profile. I wasn't really ever on it. And I haven't been on Facebook since I was a teenager. So that wasn't hard to remove myself from. I never got onto TikTok when people were talking about how addictive it is and, um, you know, how targeted the messaging can be. I just decided not even to engage. So, I mean, I have a TikTok account. I guess at one point in time I thought I wanted to do it. So I just need to delete that profile. But I've never posted on it and I've never consumed from it. Um, so, this is to say, I have a YouTube account and I consume YouTube content. And I have an Instagram account and I have a Pinterest account. I'm trying to think if there's any other social media platform that I've removed myself from, but or haven't participated in. I have a WhatsApp account only to talk to people internationally. Only really to talk to one person internationally. You know who you are. Okay, so beyond that, that's my first piece of advice, is only be on the platforms that you feel like you need to be on. Don't be on platforms that you feel like you need to be on for other people. That's first and foremost. Then I think that you should have a specific relationship with these apps. So, for example, I created a boundary with Instagram because over time I became addicted to it. And I would, like, I know years and years ago, before I started going on this journey of having a better social media relationship, like, my hand would like automatically open the app. Be like, what am I doing here? And there wasn't really a reason for me doing there. It was just like a habit of, you know, when a habit is like, it was just a habit. And so I got to the point where I would delete Instagram off of my phone. That way there would be like more of a barrier between me and Instagram. I'd have to go into the app store. I'd have to search for Instagram. I would have to download the app. I would have to like log in, but they got to a point where they saved your login information even if you deleted the app. So there's just all these like boundaries and layers that I had to go through to get to the app. So that was very helpful for me. Then I gave myself the boundary to not go on Instagram until after noon. So 12 o'clock hits. After that, I can go on Instagram, keep my mornings sacred and not having voices from other places, just being in my own energy. Sometimes I got like, and so that was a journey. So sometimes it would be like 10 or 11. I'm like, is it noon yet? And then I got to a point where it'd be like 2 or 3 in the afternoon. And I'd be like, I haven't been on Instagram at all today. So that has been a journey of having a better relationship with Instagram. And that has also evolved to me putting a time limit on Instagram. So I'll only it's a setting in the app where it'll give you a warning. You've been on this app for this amount of time. And so the time period that I chose was an hour. Once it tells you you have 5 minutes before the hour mark hits. And so after the hour mark hits, it says like you should be off the app. And then you can like snooze it for a certain amount of time. So I usually just snooze it for 5 minutes. I think it's 5, 10, and 15 minutes. And so if I snooze it like 3 times, 15 minutes has already passed. And that's over the amount of time that I wanted to allot to Instagram, because beyond just Instagram, I'm also trying to limit my screen time. So having that snooze allows me to know like 15 minutes has passed, so you need to like peace out. Look at the last posts you want to look at, and send the DMs that I want to send, and then like at this point, I'm done. I have noon as the time period where I can start being on Instagram. I'm still developing the time period where I want to stop being on Instagram for the day. 9 p.m. has been like the thought process at this point in time, but I haven't gotten there yet. There's been a lot of like thoughts and boundaries and rules, but not that one yet. And I think that is something that I really need to focus on, because I don't need to be scrolling that late at night. That's where like the screen time thing comes in, that I don't, around 8 o'clock or so, I want to be leaning on my book, or honestly like just consuming the TV screen instead of the phone screen. So, I'm not saying that I am perfect in this situation. In regards to giving myself an hour on Instagram, I also have been trying to give myself awareness of my screen time in total. My screen time on my computer and the screen time on my phone. They put the screen time into one. It's not like, you know what I'm saying? Like my screen time on my computer and the screen time on my phone is one average number. Not an average number, it's the actual number. And I'm just becoming more aware of it. I want to be more aware of my screen time, and I want to be more aware of how long I'm spending on Instagram. This has been kind of like a stream of consciousness, so I was just gathering my thoughts. Another thing in regards to Instagram, I don't delete the phone. I don't delete the app off my phone anymore, because I have a way better relationship with it. And in addition to that, there's the hidden folder on iPhones now. So Instagram is in my hidden folder. So I have to scroll all the way to my app library, scroll up to get to the hidden folder. I don't have face detection on my phone, so I have to type in my passcode and then Instagram opens. So there's like, those are more layers that I put on the phone so that it's not that easy for me to get there anyway. So there's that. And then there's another way that I've rewrote my relationship with Instagram is also getting on Instagram on my computer as opposed to getting on Instagram on my phone. So I'll find myself getting onto Instagram on my computer just to like reply to a DM or check notifications, but I'm not going to scroll on my computer. It's more likely I'll scroll on my phone than I would scroll on my computer. So that's another boundary that I give to myself to like have a different experience with the platform. I think that last and certainly not least, I'll mention one more thing, and there could be more things that I hadn't thought to mention in this video that I can just mention in future videos, so I hope that you found this useful. There's this mantra that I've been giving myself for a good while that's create over consume. Like the word create goes over, like a division line, consume. And I've just been embodying a content creator for so long that it's so easy to just like scroll and say that I'm getting inspiration from consuming content from other people. Yes, there's truth to that, but also there's, you know, a comparison factor to that it can affect my emotional health. And so what if I just stay in my own energy and just create on my own and foster my creation, foster my creativity over consuming. So like just that mantra helps me to think about how I can be using my time more productively. When you look back at your life and think of all of the hours that you spent scrolling, all of the hours I have spent scrolling, you know, those aren't necessarily like times that I look back fondly on. Like those aren't memories that I was creating. So how I have a sentence journal. So at the end of every day, I write a few sentences about my day. If I was, you know, like what do I want to put in that sentence journal to establish that like this was a memorable day? Not every day is memorable, but I'm just saying like being more conscious of the time that you're spending. So one of the ways that I go about doing something different other than scrolling is you just have to replace what that activity is with a different activity. For me right now, it is reading. And I know that that is like, there's a past version of me that would be like, okay, yeah, not the same. And it's not the same. One's very passive and one's a little bit more active. And I think having like a reading practice also helps because if you weren't already reading, it would be kind of a stretch. So you don't have to replace it with reading, but I have found that when I'm in the habit of picking up my phone to look at my feed during a commercial break while watching TV, that how can I be spending my time differently, more intentionally? And so I've been replacing my phone for a Kindle, my Kindle, not a Kindle, and or even a book. I'm starting to really crack down on my screen time, so I'd rather like read a physical book than look at another screen. But because a Kindle is kind of just slightly larger than a phone, it's kind of like instead of grabbing that device, you grab a different device. And I think there's like more advice that you probably could get from like a whole entire video of like how you can get into reading. But basically what I would say is just continue to explore with books that you would find interesting. Like I I was just about to go into like the books that I'm currently reading, but that's a whole other video too. If you're not feeling it, if the book isn't pulling you in, then just drop it because reading shouldn't feel like a chore. Find the stories that you want to hear, get like the type of advice books that you feel like would be beneficial for you, things like that. Because otherwise, like that tip isn't really even gonna work. But yeah, I hope that you found this helpful. I've just been, well, I guess just more context from my perspective is that I've been a social media manager since 2015. So it has been especially important for me to continue to rewrite my relationship with social media, but even more in this day and age with when you're on your feed, you're also, consuming news sometimes. It's just important to be more aware of where your energy is going and how it's affecting you and your emotional health. There's times that I've stopped scrolling and I'm like, your emotions change based off of what you've consumed. So just having that awareness, having good boundaries with social media can definitely give you the opportunity to have a better relationship with it, because I there's been many times that I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'm just going to delete these apps. Delete these platforms and no longer be on them. That would be better. But I know that there's so much change that can happen with having more global international conversations and showing life experiences from everyone on the planet. So I I always get back to, I don't need to remove myself. I just need to have a better relationship with it. So I hope you found this helpful. Let me know what resonated with you, and I will see you in the next video.